Well, welcome back to Experiencing Our God. This is chapter 11, and this chapter was very intriguing to me. It's the discussion about finding God in the midst of conflict. Conflict's always going to exist because God has made us as individuals, and as individuals, we have different ideas on how things should be done. Conflict is normal. Now, how you deal with conflict, of course, that's where life gets a little interesting. But how do we experience God in conflict? And it's the understanding that God made us each a little different. Because the more we can see differences when approaching a problem, the more creative we can be. So you look at any problem in any situation. If someone says to you, there's only one way to do this, or there's only one way to understand this, you have to say, no, that's not the way it is. And the old saying is, you bring 2 or 3 rabbis together, you're going to get 20 different answers to the same problem. And as I've been reading through the Talmud, there's a lot of opportunities for different opinions. And sometimes you don't actually get a straight answer because there are so many opinions. But that's good. And Western thinking says, oh, yeah, conflict. Conflict is bad. And the interpreters of the scripture, especially in the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, will say, oh, gee, these Pharisees and Sadducees, they wanted to come out and trap Jesus into saying blasphemy. No, they weren't. They were going out to debate him, causing conflict to cause the debate. Because by having the debate, by having the conflict, they learned more about who he was and what he was all about. And that's what they wanted to find out. There were basically 2 houses of study. There was the house of Shammai and the house of Hillel. And they wanted to know, which side do you belong to? People do that today. Unfortunately, in politics, conservatives versus liberals versus libertarians, et cetera, and et cetera. And they want to know what side of the game you're on. The problem today in the United States is that political conflict has now resulted into people not even being able to talk to each other or communicate. Now, that's really sad. So you experience God through conflict because God made each of us different, and we should appreciate the differences that each one of us has. Now, God bless you for listening to this chapter. I hope it blesses you in some way or shape or form, because you bless me by watching the video. So until the next one, as always, shalom.